Good evening, listeners. My name is Anthony Z, and welcome back to another episode of the Zero Effort Podcast with yours truly. A completely improvised podcast where I talk about random stuff about my life and stuff completely in between, with zero effort putting into editing and voicing, as you could tell. Okay, honestly, I don't really need to tell you about this, especially since by the time you're watching this, in the future, there's going to be more episodes. So if you want fully know what the Zero Effort Podcast is going to be, just watch the first episode. And before we get started, if you're on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when another episode of the podcast drops. So with that out of the way, let's get started. So, you know Boomerang, right? The channel by Cartoon Network / Warner Bros. Discovery that is supposed to be a network that brings you back to the olden days with classic cartoons, hence the name. Of course, during the 2010s, it hasn't been that way and was more of a syndication channel. But nowadays, during the modern era of 2024, the channel's slowly getting better. But even then, there's MeTV Tunes, which is basically Boomerang, but free. But there's another part of Boomerang that most of you probably didn't know about, and that's the streaming service. Which, existed at a time which was a streaming service. It was also a streaming service. And you know how I said was during that messed up past tense? That's because the service no longer exists. By the time you're listening to this, the Boomerang service is gone. This episode is set to premiere the day the service is no longer available. Well, not technically. See, the Boomerang streaming service came out in 2017. It was basically old Boomerang, but, streamified. During this time, it just stayed existing there, but of course, by the time HBO Max came out, most of us were like, well, this thing's over. We just knew the service was going to go down, and yet it still existed. It even got an update, which added a WB 100 playlist, which we all know how WB 100's anniversary wasn't the good one. Thank you, David Zaslav. But here we are in 2024, and the service is going kaput. Well, kind of. On the website, it specifically states that Boomerang is moving to Max, which is the main streaming service Warner Bros. Has besides Discovery Plus, which was meant to merge with HBO Max, the previous name, but decided to keep it split apart for no reason other than to probably make some money, and you know the lyrics here and there. So probably what I meant by moving is according to one of a Twitter/X post, or Seats, as Elon Musk likes to call it. What it meant is that most of the Boomerang content will be moving over to Max in a specified hub, kind of like the Cartoon Network hub. Notice how I said most content. That's because the website is going to say, well, not the update, but an email, which I got because I am a Boomerang member. I am subscribed to Boomerang. And not all the content will be available. So of course we know that Kids Next Door is on Boomerang. So if you're really excited for Kids Next Door to come back to Max, please set your expectations right about to a low point. I don't think WB is going to add Kids Next Door back to Max. So sorry, but that is what it is. But there's also two other things. One thing, your Boomerang credentials are going to be moving over to Max. I mean, you can use the same Boomerang credentials that you've been using to log into the service for Max. And two, and this is the most surprising thing, they're going to convert your Boomerang subscription to a Max ad-free subscription for the same price as the Boomerang one, which surprised me most. I would think they would just give you the Max ad-supported one, and you're forced to deal with the ads, probably at the same pricing as the normal Max ad-supported, but nah. They're basically going to give you Max for a $10 discount until further notice. They said it in the email, until further notice. So basically, if you have Boomerang, you're basically going to get Max for free for the same price. And it's basically going to be that free one. That's probably rare for WBD to do. They're mostly anti-consumerist. I mean, not mostly, but the fact that they're doing that for the Boomerang subscribers, I mean, that's pretty cool. Would I be keeping Max? Well, if it's going to have the Boomerang content, I probably have to. I mean, I don't want to use Max, but sometimes I just like watching the Hanna-Barbera cartoons on streaming. I could use MeTV Tunes. I have Friendly TV. I do have the Friendly TV subscription to use MeTV Tunes. But sometimes I just like to plop down the cartoon and just watch it on there. And apparently, according to a seat or post on Twitter/X, Apparently, a few select shows that are already on Max will probably pop up on Boomerang. So basically means something like the Hanna-Barbera Scooby-Doo shows that are already on Max, or something like Jellystone, which I have to get into. So when my Boomerang subscription gets converted to Max on September 30th, well, I mean today, it's already today, but I'm recording this right now on August 3rd, and this episode is scheduled to premiere on September 30th, the day the Boomerang service goes offline. So as I was saying, I have to get into Jellystone because from what I've seen, I should probably get back into it. It's probably the best show, and of course the Cartoon Network crossover is coming, so it basically just gives me an excuse to go on it because I was probably just gonna get the Max free trial, but now the Boomerang shutdown just gives me an excuse to use it. Yeah. So many people are asking, but what about the Boomerang channel? Will that go down? Don't worry, everybody. Just calm down your pants. The Boomerang channel is not going away, and I don't think the Boomerang channel is never going away. Besides, the Boomerang channel in Canada still exists, and of course we all know that a few select Boomerang channels have been converted to Cartoonito outside of the United States and Canada, but I don't think the Boomerang channel is going to be going away in America. Besides, honestly, the Boomerang channel schedule nowadays, sorry, my microphone almost fell. This is what... Sorry about that. Once again, this is zero effort putting into this, so you gotta deal with that, man. You gotta deal with that. Anyways, as I was saying, the Boomerang channel schedule has been honestly improving. It's probably going back to classic Boomerang. Similar with Cartoon Network, since, of course, most of its viewership is no longer kids, but adults, because adults are watching the Cartoon Network channel more, mainly for Adult Swim, which, I mean, I can't blame them. Adult Swim practically has the best lineup right now, as well as some new shows that were meant to be on Cartoon Network. And speaking of Boomerang, remember how that was originally Cartoon Network 2? Well, we're going to have Cartoon Network 3, or 3, as Discovery Family has been putting out more Cartoon Network shows on here. Originally, it was just Summer Camp Island, a few Hanna-Barbera shows, but then Steven Universe, in that updated banner they have where they're rebranding it from Discovery Family to Discovery Family Channel, they're basically going to rebrand it. Well, I already said rebranded, but they're going to add Steven Universe, which, I mean, it's a show that's very, truly unique. So, yeah. So, honestly, nowadays, probably very soon, outside of the Hasbro shows like My Little Pony and Littlest Pet Shop, if they ever do tend to stay because of the deal with WBD and Hasbro, as well as outside the live-action programming, Discovery Family essentially becoming Cartoon Network 3. You know, we have Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries, Looney Tunes, Baby Looney Tunes, Summer Camp Island, Steven Universe, all on a channel that's called Discovery Family. The name basically is soon going to become less sense to something like Nicktoons. Oh wait, it's not Nicktoons, it's actually Nick SpongeBob. Get it? Because really the whole network is just airing non-stop SpongeBob. Look up a video on that on YouTube and you will get what I'm saying. Well, I think I already talked about everything, so I've got to say, well, goodbye, Boomerang streaming service. You are truly a unique specimen. Honestly, you are probably something else to die probably soon, but you are definitely the cheapest alternative to watching classic cartoons. So, I gotta thank you for that. Honestly, I hate to see it end this way, but the lights are going off at Boomerang Plus HQ. And before I continue, yes, that's what basically the company that runs the service is called, Boomerang Plus. Probably because of LCC. But like I said, I hate to see it end this way, but the lights are going off at Boomerang Plus HQ. And they likely won't be turning back on ever again. Yeah, they're not coming back from this. Oh, well, wait, I forgot to mention that apparently this reminds me of something. Ah, yeah, Noggin. You know Noggin, the educational / streaming service that also with Kapoots. It definitely reminds us of Noggin. So as I was saying, they're not coming back from this. Streaming with Boomerang is officially over. Well, technically, if you're using Max, it's not going to be over, but whatever. So I think that's all I have to talk about right now. So anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Zero Effort Podcast with yours truly, Anthony Z. And I'll see ya soon. Peace!